Hey Favevoured ones, welcome to my channel. I'm Kymmy. Today we will be doing a reading for the new moon in Leo. And in honor of that energy, I thought it would be nice to see what energy or new parts of yourself that you're implementing that you should be proud of and brings fun into your life. Before we get started, I wanted to let everyone know that this is a general reading, so all of the messages may not apply to you. You'll know which ones are meant for you when it resonates. You'll get that aha moment. For everyone else that doesn't resonate, you're certainly welcome to pick on a different pile or a different reading altogether, and that's okay. Also, I wanted to let everyone know I'm not doing personal readings at this time due to my own personal reasons, and if anyone tries to comment in your DMs or below on the videos saying that they have an urgent message from you, from the divine or whoever, and they need to tell you right away and wants your money, that's a scam. Don't give them your hard-earned money, and just block them or report them, whichever you feel comfortable with. Today I wanted to do a deck reading instead of my Rhapsodomancy. So if you were looking for Rhapsodomancy videos, there's a playlist inside of my descriptions. All right. So for pile number 1, we have this Romanian divination sticker, as well matched up with the Victoria Francis Vampire Oracle deck. For pile number 2, we have the Guardian Angels Message Tarot, and the deck looks like this. And with the placement, we have this Gothic looking cross that's shaped like a pick. And last, but certainly not least, as usual, we have 2 snakes with a geometric design on it for a sticker. And matched up with it, we have the Fairy Oracle deck by Arthur Rackham and illustrated by Jamie L. Ford. And that second one for the Guardian Angels messages by Radleigh Valentine. So you're certainly welcome to pause now and decide on which one you would like to listen to. You can roll a dice, you can put your hand over each pile and see which one tingles or gets warm. Or you can pick all of them. You're really whichever you're guided to do. All right, and without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Pile number 1, if you chose the sticker with the crystal ball, then this message is for you. So what I'm getting from this is that you may be into scrying, which is a type of mirror magic, divination that you may be looking into doing. You may be clairvoyant, which is where you see images pop up into your head, like an example, like That's So Raven. So Guides, spirits, guardians, ancestors, please come through to protect me so that the highest light messages only come through without any interference. Please and thank you. Can I get messages for piles number 1 on what new things they're implementing that they should be proud of and will bring fun into their life? Also with this, you could have history of Romanian bloodline. If you do, hello, welcome. If not, that you're certainly welcome as well. That's just extra confirmation from their guides that this is their pile. Right, and the crystal I have on your deck is the Ukite crystal, and it symbolizes promoting self-awareness and self-love. So I see here for pile number 1 is that you're letting go of an old foundation. As you see, she's walking away from that castle. And so some of you may be moving, or some of you may have had to let go of what you found, what you felt kept you grounded, what was your foundation. So it could be a job that you could be, I feel like a job could have been one of those things that you left behind, or toxic family members. Like, I feel like you left behind a toxic situation, whether that's family, a relationship, or a state of being, like lifestyles, like addictions, or negative thinking patterns that you used to find comfort within, but now you are letting go and moving away from that. I feel like you may be seeing a lot of animal symbolism. So if you see a type of animal popping up around you a lot, maybe look into the numerology of what time you saw it at, and what the symbolism is of that creature, or even if you see a lot of a certain nature as well. I feel right now you're really clinging on to your guides, wondering what you're supposed to do next. And that's what you're implementing. You're a little bit skeptical of following your guides and letting go of the past, and thinking that you'll ever find everlasting foundation and what's another word for this? Stability. You're concerned that letting go of whatever it was that you're walked away from or walking away from, you're afraid that you won't find stability in the future with the or longevity that will feel as good, because you see is clinging on there to the guides, knowing that your guides or your gut feeling, whatever you believe in, your support system that you who are good for your highest good, because you could have people within your friend group, work group that are good for you and encouraging you, but others that are not. And the roses that are there are for love, but also are bittersweet because they have the thorns. So, moving forward is scary, and that's the thorns. But if you want the rose, you need the thorns. And it shows here that it is going to bring you to your everlasting because they're walking through. I know they're not actually walking, but it looks like they're walking through together. And they're walking through ivy, which is known to be symbolized longevity. And I wanted to let you know that your guides are constant. The ones that have passed on before you, your ancestors, are there guiding you along, and they're solid. People are going to be there who are solid for you, that you can hold on to, but not like letting them rule you over, because you have your own passion that you're igniting. And I think that's what you're doing, is you're walking away from what you thought was your passion, but it might have been at the time. It could have just been that phase that you meant to walk through. And now you're walking away because you've developed a new passion, uh, with her grasping herself. And that passion might be to love yourself. It might be, you may be getting over, trigger warning, sexual assault or other form of assault where you weren't able to feel comfortable with yourself and your body, and now you are getting more comfortable with your body. Or that could have been like self-harm because of the way your body looked. That could be the negative. I feel like for some of you, that's the negative mindset you're letting go of, and you're embracing who you are and loving your body for all that it does for you in the time. With that window in the back, it gives me the Three of Pentacles in the traditional deck vibes, and that symbolizes doing a collaboration. So you could be walking, I feel like some of you could be walking away to start collaborating on your passion. This could include doing light work or intuitive guidances and stuff like that. With the clairvoyance, you could be learning how to do cards, looking into it. Or even if you don't do that, you do it for yourself personally, and you're doing another passion. You could be seeing threes a lot with the 1 and 2 here and the 3 here. So you could be seeing breakdowns and of threes and twos with the 11 here, and then 9 is the number of endings. So with the 18. Some of you may be going into fashion design or designing your own company, whether that be through working with your hands, um, art, or using your voice. Someone may be using their voice and the other person is doing the writing, or someone's doing the editing and someone else is doing the graphic designs. And because this card always reminds me of like fashion, just because of the old style, is like you're taking something that was old and making it modern and yours. But that's a specific message for someone. Um, but yeah, you felt like you weren't captivating before. Either your body, your mind, your voice, um, or your talents weren't that captivating before. And now with that piercing stare, I feel like everyone's going to be watching you grow and find and blossom into that new development. As you can see here, that you're divinely protected. You can see a whole bunch of little circles that remind me of Nazars that are the evil eye symbols, and it looks like you may have a bunch of people who will be naysayers and stuff like that, but your guides want you to know that you are divinely protected and you have people around you who are supportive. So make sure you're using your discernment and your past life. Some of you may be doing past life regressions, because I wanted to say past life experiences, which may be why you're finding out what your passion is, because you're moving on from things you could be doing past life regressions in your sleep without realizing it. But yeah, you're using your life experiences to discern who's really for you and who's not, and letting it fall off naturally, or using your voice and putting up boundaries directly. So yeah, for pile number 1, I feel like mostly what you're implementing into your life is shutting out those who are not serving you, and things that aren't serving you right now, whether that be people, places, or things. You know, the nouns, all the nouns, you're making sure anything toxic, noun out, and embracing the now, your passion, your beauty, your voice, your intuitiveness, instead of, ignoring it because you want to please others and be liked, and you're letting go of wanting to be liked and embracing liking yourself. And that's what you should be proud of, is the fact that you're embracing who you are and yourself, and liking yourself, and less bothered by those around you who aren't for you. Not everyone's for you. Can I get extra? Thank you. That one popped out. Ooh. There we go. Blood. Okay, so yeah. No, I forgot about that, with it being the Victoria Francis deck, and it's literally a vampire oracle. Some of you may be cutting out people in your life who are energy vampires. You're really learning who just wants to take your energy and who's just like giving you a shit sandwich compliment, backhanded compliments, and you're like, excuse me, I don't need to accept that. I got the word blood here. So some of you may be blood donors or have a specific blood type that is rare. So they just want to let you know that you're rare. Whether you have that rare blood type, it's usually no negative. It's still saying, it's also feel like it's with the E here. Don't bleed. You can't bleed a stone. So don't, make sure that you're not like trying to give when you can't, and that has to do with energy vampires too. They want you to keep giving, even if you're exhausted, because they don't have a limit on how much they want to take from you. I have an N here, so your name could start with an N. Natasha, Nicole, Natalie, Needle. Some of you could be needing needles, or could be moving on to be a nurse or blood donors and stuff like that. I have the word Rue, so some of you may enjoy Winnie the Pooh. Or you may be from could be possibly from Australia as well. That may resonate with some of you. If you do, hello, welcome. You're learning to love yourself. as much as you love your fandoms. Like before, you used to give all of your love to fictional characters that embody the same things within yourself that you weren't ready to accept yet. And I feel like you're starting to accept that, and that's what you should take pride in. 5s and 7s could be important to you. You could be 57. You could have been born in 75. 12 could be important to you, or 3s. I said 3 earlier, so that's pretty cool because 5 and 7 equal 13, and then 1 and 2 equal 3. It was 111. It was 1111 when I said that. It's 1112 now, but come on, phone. I'll show them, please and thank you. But yeah, it took a while for my phone to want to do the thing. But yeah, it was 1111. You could be saying 1111 a lot, so make a wish. And yes or no question for our pile number 1. So go ahead and pause if you need to think of a question. And yeah, so 3, 2, 1. Ancestors, guides, guardians, can you please come through and give me answer yes or no for pile number 1? So I have a no. It doesn't seem like it's the right time, or, you know, it just might not be for you. Anything that's meant for you will not pass you by. Have patience and keep working on your passions for now. All right. All right, so that's everything for pile number 1. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up, comment below if you'd like to see any other videos with a certain title. You're welcome to suggest, as well as remember to eat, hydrate, and have fun. All right, bye. Pile number 2. It's 22:33 on the clock. You could be seeing 2s and 3s a lot if you chose this Gothic looking cross. Then this pile is for you. So you could be into goth music or just macabre style arts. I know I said that wrong, but excuse my pronunciation. Some of you may not follow traditional Christianity. Some of you may believe in one God, but not go to church. Some of you may feel like nature is your church. Some of you may, I feel like some of you are really into helping animals and others, and that's your form of worship. You worship by helping others. You worship by taking care of the planet, and yeah. So some of you also may, I feel like there could be some who are watching that have German descent, because that's where Gothic originated from. There is some speculation about it originating from Scandinavia, but that's inconclusive, although you may be Scandinavian heritage. And yeah, that could be extra confirmation for those who needed to hear it. I think that's everything from the imagery. Goth and Germanic. Oh yes, the Germanic Goth was a part of helping take down the Roman Empire. So some of you may be in the military. I feel like some of you may be a part of the military or going in or live in a war-torn area. My heart goes out to you. May you continue to be safe, and you are loved. Yeah, some of you may be soldiers or medics or suppliers of those in need in war-torn countries. Some of you could be missionaries, but I don't get that feeling too much. But it was called to say so. So what do I know? This is a timeless reading. The crystal I had placed on your deck for protection is the tiger's eye, which is good for traveling and brings energy. So you could be dealing with things where you need stamina and safe journeys. So if you are traveling, safe journeys to you. Okay, so there we go. Some of you may be stubborn, feeling stubborn. Ooh. Or anxious, and it makes you have gas bubbles, because I was feeling fine until I started to go shuffle for you. Some of you may have stomach issues. Some of you may drink a lot and it gives you the hiccups, and spirit's calling you to slow down, not to give like completely cold turkey, but some of you may be running away from the reality of your everyday life through instant gratification. That can be scrolling on Facebook, that could be watching movies, video games, food. Some of you may eat food when you not need to, or you could have, I feel like some of you have digestive problems, like, or some kind of medical issue that pertains to food. I know I certainly do, and had to change my diet. It's not the easiest. So if you wanted help and you do feel called to do so, Archangel Raphael is the one who helps with that. So you can call on them anytime. Also, looking up dietitian stuff online helped me as well. That's only if you feel called to do so. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, just guide you and give you personal experiences. Okay, so what is pile number 2 implementing into their life that they should be proud of, and is reflection, evaluation, rebirth with, I believe this is the death card in the traditional deck, but I could be wrong. I do sometimes get it mixed up. It may be temperance, so don't quote me. I am new to this deck, and they don't have, as close as it is to the tarot deck, they have a few names of their own. You will be traveling, chariot, willpower, victory, recognition. You will be getting recognition for whatever it is that you are implementing. I feel like some of you are learning how to be less brute force and more loving guidance, like me when I was like, I ain't here to tell you and shame you. I'm here to give you guidance and personal experiences. I feel like pile number 2, that's what you're implementing, is going from brute force and having to argue and fight and pick up the gun, and now you're laying down the sword, you're laying down the gun, and you're like, look, I understand why you're upset. I understand what's going on here. I have personal experiences. I can help you get through this without fighting. Of course, there is a time to stand up for yourself. So if that part of the message doesn't resonate to you, then that's okay. Let it slide. Let it Jeff Dunham and you, okay? Some of you may like ventriloquists as well, or it could just be something that you're into. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this a lot. Pile number 2, you're going to be implementing both sides of you. You're going to be open to receiving and giving because you'll be embracing both your divine feminine and masculines. Now, regardless of your identity, whether you're male, female, or non-binary, every one of us has a divine feminine and divine masculine part of us. It's 3113 right now, so 3s and 1s can be important to you. But yeah, you're using logic. Logic is the swords. It's part of the mind. That's what the sword symbolizes. So you're using your mind. So you're receiving knowledge and sharing knowledge with others. Brilliance, experience, and your humor. You are bringing light and lighter times and energy to people using your jokes and your experience. You can be experienced and you can take yourself serious when it needs to be, but you're also a jokester and can lighten up the room if it needs to be as well. You're diverse, you're duality. So knowledgeable, objective, and respected. So the things that you will be doing will be respected. And yeah, you were searching for fulfillment in the past, and you may have been doing it. I feel like you were doing it with brute force, and it left you feeling empty, whether it was because through relationships or jobs, you were trying to fight someone into loving you. I feel like that's some of the messages for you. Some of you out our pile number 2 is that some of you have tried to fight for other people to love you the way you deserve to be loved. And at the same time, you were ignoring yourself and not giving yourself that love either. Because you can only keep, you can bring in only so much love. But you'll accept less than you deserve if you're not loving yourself. That was 3311 when I said that. So 3s and 1s are definitely important to you. But yeah, search, empowerment, fulfillments. I feel like you're going to be drinking a lot less and trying to face your reality, trying to face your feelings without trying to escape from them. Stop trying to run away and, making that way down the path towards a lighter heart. And some of you may be getting close to what they consider over the hill, and that might just be a confirmation of your age. That's doesn't have to be. It could just be you feeling like you don't have enough time left in your life, even though you're just at the beginning of the next stage, as you can see, because she's let go of all those unfulfilling cups and looking for one that will fill. And that doesn't mean you have to be a female. Some of you could be Irish or Scottish with her having red hair, or it could be that you're moving on to your passion. Welsh. Yeah. As I was saying, archangel. So you could have an angel or your angels, like whoever passed on, if you believe in regular gods and not reincarnation, but your passed on loved ones want to guide you as well. You're welcome to call upon them for help at any time. So you're being enthusiastic, motivated, and creative with nature, with the staff here. And the feather, you could be seeing a lot of feathers or birds that could, you can look at the symbolisms online. If you see a repeat pattern of it, that's your guides or your passed on loved ones trying to send you a message. Some of you could be into beekeeping. What's another thing? Gardening. Like botany, herbalism, things to do with being creative and outside. Some of you may like build decks, bird houses, feeding birds even, you know. Yeah. Six of air, which is the Six of Swords again. So you have a lot of air. So some of you may be air signs. I have water signs and fire signs here as well. A lot of you, but with the amount of air and the high high ranking, some of you could be high ranking in the group amongst your friends, but that's not what I wanted to say, but that's what came out. So I'm going to say that some of you could be high ranking or retiring from high ranking. I see you going across the ocean. That's not for everyone. Or traveling into the big city, or to a different city. With the boat here going across. Now the Six of Swords usually means victory and going and getting past the rough times, getting past the storm, moving on, hope, relief. Like it's a time to rejoice. And I feel like for pile number 2's what, and a thing that you could be implementing is a time for, you know, relaxation, more peace. You know, you've done most of your work and now, or you've done a lot of work, and it doesn't mean you're retiring, but it definitely can mean that you're going to try and take more time for yourself and your loved ones. I feel like those for pile number 2 who are a part of the military or fighting either spiritual warfare or fighting generational traumas, that this is the last of it for you. Look at how much wands are on the ground and you have overcome them because you're standing above them and you have one left. So it could be your last tour for those who are in the military, or if you aren't in the military, then it could be the last part of yourself that was holding you back and making you feel like you weren't fulfilled or ever going to find some relief. You're letting go of the illusion that you need to be tough in order to be respected. Now, that doesn't mean don't fight or stand up for yourself and implement boundaries, or, you know, you don't need to be a beast to command respect. Some of you may love Disney movies. But yeah, like with that saying, with there's two wolves inside of you. Some of you may be indigenous or work with indigenous people, as that is one of their proverbs, is whichever wolf you feed. You know, there's one that's good and there's one that's bad, and it's like which one wins, and it's whichever one you feed. I feel like you're feeding the one that wants kindness, that wants peace, that wants to relax instead of go, go, go and be offended or on guard all the time. I feel with the two different towers being here is that you're going to have a family in two different places. Or you're thinking of having, or you long to. It might not even be a thought yet for some of you. Of wanting to have family in two different places, and that could be causing strife and what's causing the illusion of being trapped for some of you. Follow your intuition. Some of you may have, well, we all have intuition. I feel like we all have the gift. I'm not special for doing this. I've just practiced and listened to my intuition longer. So if listen to your intuition or your gut feeling, it will guide you instead of trying to people please. All right. So yeah, for pile number 2, I feel like you're letting go of being the beast and becoming the prince, or letting go of being the dragon lady and becoming the princess. If you don't feel like royalty applies to you, you're going from being the princess to being the ogre. Okay, like you're going from being Shrek to being the prince, and realizing, oh, I don't like being that way. I liked being who I was originally. So you're turning back, I feel like you transformed into someone who was brutal because you thought that's how you needed to survive in this world, and you're starting to realize that you can be vulnerable and sensitive at times. You're allowed to be vulnerable and soft. And it doesn't make you soft. It doesn't mean you can't fucking. Oh, sorry. It doesn't mean you can't. A lot of you might swear a lot. Try not to for YouTube reasons, but here we are. It's so forceful, and now I can't remember. I hope it was pretty obvious what I was gonna say, because me catching myself from swearing kind of threw me off. Maybe you feel thrown off trying to be yourself, trying to do things more way. Just because you're soft doesn't mean that you won't go toe to toe with anyone who tries to take away your sovereignty, your happiness, and step on your family's toes. Okay. Box. So some of you may be packing up to leave and go somewhere, but I already said that. Or you may feel like you live boxed in with the way you live right now. Whether that's working environment or those around you. I have the word Tom. Your last name could start with the letter T. Could be on social media a lot, or just that's how you unwind, or that's the place where you feel like you can be most vulnerable and let out your sensitive side, because it's behind you know, it feels a little safer because it's behind the screen. So you may not like be really heartwarming. Like you might not be Hallmark when you're in person, but if you're online, you're very Hallmark. Like you let everyone know and like start like you make people cry with how beautiful you write things out and touch their heart with yours. Um, yeah, you make people smile with your humor. Poem. Some of you might write poems, poetry, pottery. You could be in pottery or clay making. Some of you might prefer the evening because I have PM here. But some of you might enjoy robots or like Transformers and stuff like that. You could be into Marvel. Some of you may enjoy the fox. Like you may be cunning and clever and quick and know how to get out of a situation. Ox. Some of you might be as strong as an ox. Some of you might like eating different animals that aren't of the usual. I don't know why I got that, but I did. That's not. Or you feel so hungry you could eat an ox. Like you have a big appetite for adventure, for life, not just food. Also, it could be hugs and kisses to reinforce that message of that you feel more safe to show your vulnerability and sensitive side. With the FB here, it feels like Facebook is where you could be the one who be where you let out that emotion. Jock. Some of you could have been a jock or like not even like jock. You could be into sports. Running, which is another thing that foxes are really good at. So you could be into running a lot or might be getting back into that because you feel like you've lost that part of yourself. Some of you might like BJs. Um, don't want to see that spirit thinks, but that can be confirmation for someone. That's how you relax. Some days I wonder why I do that. Some of you might be radio, like you might like radio, listening to the radio a lot with FM, or you may like walkie-talkies, which is another military thing, or to embrace your childhood. Like you may embrace your inner child a lot with walkie-talkies, which is FM, which is how they used to connect with each other. Some of you could be a top. I might have some LGBTQ in this. Or some of you may feel bad that you have been mean to the LGBTQ in the past, and now you're being more accepting and more vulnerable and sensitive towards accepting them. That could be a message for some of you as well. Some of you could be nurses as well with the word pox. So if you are, thank you for your service and stay safe. Especially with the MT, it reminds me of EMT, so like ambulance driver and such, or a volunteer firefighter. Yeah, with the F here. But the letters are M, F, T, P, O, X, B, J. Lovely. All right. And last but not least, can we get a question for the collective of pile number 2, please, guides, guardians, and ancestors. I'll give you a moment. You may pause. 3, 2, 1. Can I get the answer for pile number 2, please, Archangel Michael? The answer is no. And if you aren't into all of this, that's perfectly acceptable. I'm not for everyone, and neither are you. All right. I hope you enjoyed my messages. You may leave a like, a subscribe, or a comment below with any suggestions for future videos. I appreciate you being here and watching me do what I do. And remember to eat, hydrate, and have fun. Bye. Pile number 3. If you chose the geometric symbol with snakes, I feel like this group may enjoy sacred symbols, whether it's Egyptian or Celtic or runes from Norse mythology and religions and stuff like that. Some of you may be into metaphysics and enjoy discussing those types of things, as well as you could, I feel like this is the pile who enjoys doing sigil work, like making your own sigils or just carving things into to use from other historical sacred symbols. You could be going through a Kundalini awakening or a dark night of the soul, or doing shadow work with the symbolisms of the snake. It means rebirth as well, and shedding of your old skin. I have picked out to place on the deck for protection when I wasn't using it. The one I picked for y'all is a agate. This one's a moss agate. It's got the brown and the little wonderful, and it symbolizes increase of energy and relief of fatigue. So I feel like pile number 3's you're revitalizing your energy and knowing where you want to place your energy and who to invest your energy into. Woo! Some of you may have people who don't want you to be this new version of yourself, but remember that you're not here to be liked, you're here to be your best version of yourself and love yourself. Not everyone's going to like you. I learned this the hard way myself and had to accept it. So I'm not going to expect you to accept it right away, as some days, even myself, I'm like, why don't they like me? And then I'm like, well, probably because we're not meant to hang around each other. So I feel like you're implementing knowing who's meant to be with you in your life on a daily basis, who's meant to be with you in small doses, and who's meant to go all the way over there and eat at a different table. Some of you may be into fairies or supernatural beings, and other lore pertains to mythology and from Greeks and all over the world, considering that we're using the deck Fairy Oracle. Remember that all fairies are not kind, just the same as any vampire or werewolves or ghouls and stuff like that. Be careful which fairies you're inviting. Citrine. Citrine is good for helping protect, as well as black tourmaline and St. John's wort. Yeah. Hey, spirit guides, guardians, ancestors, Archangel Michael, please help assist with finding what is it pile number 3 is implementing into their life that they should be proud of. Woo. Some of you may feel like this change isn't moving fast enough for you, or you may not know where to step next. Feeling a little pessimism, like, yeah, it's whatever, but it's not for me, it's not gonna happen. And I understand where that feeling comes from, and it's one of the things I usually do, and I feel called to share with you, is affirmations. And I see a lot of other tarot readers suggesting this as well. I was suggested it when I was in therapy before I graduated and my file was closed. Is affirmations, whatever it is that you feel the most vulnerable about, flip the switch and tell yourself it at least 3 times a day or whenever you feel like it. Like if you feel not good enough, be like, I am enough. I've always been enough. And I am always welcome to add more to myself. Because you can be enough and want to grow. That's allowed. And you're allowed to take your sweet, sweet time about it as well. You are not anyone else's schedule. It doesn't exist. Time doesn't exist. Everything's happening all at once, and everyone is in charge of their own reality. So don't let anyone make you feel any less than what you are, because I think you're awesome. And no, even those who I don't know or your situation and anything, if people can go around hating each other for no reason, I could go around believing in you for no reason, but there is a reason. It's because you're awesome. Woo. Some of you may be worried about your hair color or the amount of hair that you have, whether that's too much or too little. And I just want to remind you, you are beautiful as is, and don't let society tell you any different, because they are full of it and they just want your money. You can tell them to go fly a kite. Some of you may be into Mary Poppins, which reminds me of England and the Tower of Big Ben, so you may work with Bran, who is a deity, a deity, deity. Some of you might like Dexter's Laboratory. But he works with the fairies as well, and he is from Celtic Druid practices. So I feel like some pile number 3, not all of you, but majority of you are dealing with being a parent, whether that's for a newborn or preteen, as you can see here, and here, and here. So you may be embracing your inner child and your inner child's passion, asking your younger self, what is it that you wanted? Now that you've created a family, and some of them may be old enough where you don't need to be as attentive as much, what you're going to do next. And you keep giving back to to the community. You don't have to continue on with a family if that's not for you. If you don't have a family and you feel like giving back to the community, you can join a choir, learn a new instrument. There's also another part of the pile collective that I want to address as well, is those who are new parents maybe feeling like they aren't a part of a community anymore because they're focused on raising their new addition to the family. And that is your community. You're making a small community. Community, big or small, if you feel loved and you feel like what you're doing is important, then that is so valid and worthy. So you may enjoy elves, so you could be into trying to find out what with a little bell, and some of you may feel like your battery's running out, like your internal battery, and that you're tired and you that's a message because my laptop started to give away. I'm sure it's in all the way. Some of you who are new to having families and upbringing a young one may be looking into what traditions you want to implement in your family and deciphering what you want to work on and what you want them to believe in. Like, do you want to do Christmas this way and have elf on the shelf, or do you not want to have elf on the shelf? Do you want to do presents the night before or on the 25th? And this is all example. If you don't celebrate Christmas, it could be another form of tradition. Like, are you going to have bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, bat mitzvah and mat mitzvah, bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah. I could be saying it wrong. I'm not Jewish. But deciding whether or not you want to go through that, whether or not you want to wear the hijab and follow the practice of Allah with Arabic and Muslims and Sikh traditions. So you may be into polytheism, where you believe in more than one god or more than one practice of traditional ways. Some of you may pick at your nails or bite at them. That's a message that came through for confirmation. You don't have to, and certainly didn't mean to trigger you. I'm sorry, I should have said something beforehand, but that's a message that came out. Some of you may be feeling nerve-wracking about whether or not you're a good parent, and the fact that you are worried about that in the first place shows that you're off to a very good start. There's plenty of books, and we are humans, so you're bound to make a mistake, but it's how you take accountability and say sorry to the child, because we deserve to say sorry to the child. Hearing that when they're younger makes them feel more human, and that might be one of the things that you're trying to break tradition of, is how you approach your child as more of a human compared to the generation before you. I have the song Bittersweet Symphony song stuck in my head. That could be one that you listen to a lot, or you're changing your mode. You're changing from the only road you've ever been on, because your parents may have been more strict, more traditional, and you don't want that for your family, your community, your household, your sovereignty, your fortress of solitude. So you may feel more at ease outside the city, in the country area, in the bush, and surrounded by trees. That's where you could live, or where you like to travel when you go out, like camping a lot. you feel like you're wrestling with family members just to get them to accept you. And I feel like you're letting that go and embracing yourself, being vulnerable, not letting those thoughts tear at you. Like some of you this may be the group I feel is had a Cinderella life story where they were, whether because their parents meant to or just because of circumstances, you had to grow up faster. You were always the one doing work around the house and feeling thankless. And you feel like that prince was going to save you from it. And so you didn't feel bad about yourself anymore and getting the love out of them. Some of you may have had been shamed for food eating in the past as well, with the spilled food out. I know that's probably on purpose because they're just having fun of a celebration and it's falled over. I think it's rose petals, but it looked to me like food, so I'm going to take that image and believe in my own intuition that it's meant to be there, that you're shamed for food in the past and you don't want to do that for your child and you're shielding them away from that. But yeah, I feel like some of you may have had stepsisters or siblings or just regular parents who made you feel like Cinderella and you needed a prince to come and save you. But in the end, you were Fiona inside of the happily forever after or whatever it is. And she saved herself. And now you're going to have some chimichangas and get on with having a good time. And that's what you're implementing, is letting go of traditions and other people's way of raising their kids and trying to force that way of thinking on you, and you're standing up and setting boundaries. So for pile number 3, what you should be proud of is that you're setting up boundaries and you're deciding which way you want to live with your family. And that could definitely be exhausting and repetitive for that, which is why you might need the increased energy and relief fatigue with the Masa gate. So that's what I have there for you. So the P really wanted the grass one. It's like people really were hoping that you would hang on to people pleasing forever and that you would bow down and submit to what they told you, and you're not. And that's something worth being proud of. Don't let their poo-poo phase you. Don't let the smear campaign that they have against you and their way of thinking affect how you live peacefully and loving yourself. And you're beautiful. And I have the word relax here. Relax. You're doing a good job. If you're concerned that much and you can't get feedback from them directly right now and that doesn't have to be just human animals. I hadn't said this yet, but some of you may have pets that are your babies, and people aren't accepting of that either, and you don't want to have the traditional type of family, and you have pets and they don't accept the fact that those are your children and those are important as well, and or that you should feed your cat a certain way, or they only know the best type of litter that they should be having. Their suggestions are helpful, but just because they give you a suggestion doesn't mean you have to implement that or take it to face value and have to do it yourself. But yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get that part sooner. For the rest of y'all that are part of the group, you are very important and very valid. If you don't want to have kids ever, like even if people want to be be gaslight you about it. I burped right then. As people want to gaslight you, you may be dealing with some narcissist in your life that you're setting up boundaries towards, but some people might want to gaslight you and be like, that's not a real family, or that's not how you do it. I know better than you because I've raised a kid before, so what do you know? Excuse me, you didn't raise a kid until you did the first time either. And some people who have raised many kids and they're still not a nice parent. I have horses here, some maybe horse or hurdles, so you may have to jump over some hurdles, but your children, fur babies, slither babies, animal babies, or even your relationship. You may not have a traditional relationship, and it could be a part of the LGBTQ plus, where you don't have a traditional relationship and people may be gaslighting you or ignoring you or telling you that's not the way to live your life. What if you want kids? Or adoption? Adoption is not real. Oh, it is. It is really valid. And if anyone tells you not to, they're full of it. You can have any kind of family, any. It's 11121. You can have any kind of family relationship. We're valid. And man, I'm doing better with these letters than I was with the oracle. I gotta practice more. Yeah, maybe you feel like you're unpracticed, and that's perfectly fine. The only way to get experience is to do. And you may have to fight for what you love, but the people and the community that you do love and you do have around that are supportive of you, like really supportive of you, and not just energy vampires and gossiping around your back or ignoring who you actually are, they're there for you and they love you, and you deserve that. You deserve to not be chastised because of a way you want to live. You don't have to live a traditional sense. And that could be part of your spiritual awakening or shadow self, is knowing that you are worthy of having the experience of finding out what kind of mother, what kind of partner, what kind of business partner, what kind of person you are for yourself, instead of people projecting what kind of person and mother and relationship you should have, how you should act, what way it's going to make you happy. They don't know what's gonna make you happy. That's not up to them. They don't live inside you. They aren't you, and they're never going to be. So I will give a yes or no question, or you come up with a yes or no question. I will give you an answer. You are certainly welcome to pause until you come up with a question, and I will count down. So 3, 2, 1. Archangel Michael, guides, ancestors, Rand, may you come through and give the answer for pile number 3, please. We have a yes for pile number 3. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the messages and I was able to give you some encouragement and guidance with my own personal experiences and what I've learned over the years. For whoever watched from the beginning of the video until now, thank you. I appreciate your support. As well as if you could give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and you're certainly welcome to leave a suggestion or a comment on how it resonated below. I'm sending you all the best of luck with boundaries. I know it is not the easiest to do, and it can be taxing, and you deserve better. Anyways, remember to eat, hydrate, and have fun. I'll see you in my next video. All right, bye.